Here we go. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Illinois Green Party series. I'm your host, David Rych. Have a special guest on tonight, a friend of mine, a co-worker, Sam Tercero. Hi, Sam.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So Sam and I were at work the other night. We tend to work together on Saturday evenings, and she was reading a book in the slower times, closer to the end of the shift, Earth Talk. And I'm like, of course, being a greenie myself, I'm like, oh, what's that? And it turns out it's a very cool book. It's a compilation of just many, many, many different environmentally relevant facts that probably most people don't know that should. From pollution to climate change to, like I think it said in the description, alternative energies to like what's in your kitchen that's not good for the environment kind of stuff. So it covers like a very full spectrum of things concerning the environment. And of course, this is a Green Party show. So I thought, hey, why don't you come on the show and let's talk about some of the stuff in this book? I think that would be a cool idea. So here she is, Sam Tercero, everybody.
Hi. Alrighty,
Right.
So I'm going to be reading a few things I had picked out from this Earth Talk book. So basically, this is part of questions of people had on the environment. So first things first, wanted to start with the agriculture. So our sugar impact that we have on the environment, because every single day I have sugar in my coffee. And I think sugar is part of most people's diets. So the question is, what is the environmental impact of sugar aside from its not so healthy aspects? And are there good alternative sweeteners? So this question was from Mary Oakes. So our food.
Thank you, Mary, for your question.
Oh, you have a question?
I said thank you, Mary, for your question.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes. Thank you, Mary Oakes, in your email, because I'd like to know. So our food may be loaded with sugar, from our breakfast cereal to our ketchup, but we rarely think about where the sweet stuff comes from. According to the World Wildlife Fund, roughly 145 million tons of sugar are produced in 121 countries each year. Wow. And sugar production does indeed take its toll on surrounding soils, water, and air, especially in threatened tropical ecosystems near the equator. Mm-hmm. Sugar may be responsible for more biodiversity loss than any other crop, the group says, due to the destruction of habitat to make way for plantations, intensive use of water for irrigation, heavy use of agricultural chemicals, and the polluted wastewater that is routinely discharged in the production process.
Holy cats.
Yeah, so
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, just the I mean, like you think about like agriculture, stuff like that, you have to like destroy area ecosystems in order to start a garden, or a plantation or whatever it may be. Right. So that's a huge thing that people I don't think like really process when they're thinking about like certain types of different alternative energies. Well, in order to grow the biological crops you need for biofuel, you have to like cut down forests to do it. But so that makes a lot of sense. I just didn't know that specifically that sugar was that catastrophic. That's awful. Okay. I mean, I don't eat sugar very much except for in fruit because I'm diabetic, so I can't.
Right.
But no, sugar's a big deal for sure.
And we're using 145 million tons of sugar, so not only in multiple countries. So think about all the topsoil that we're disturbing to produce all this sugar for our sugary appetites.
Yeah. And there are alternatives to sugar. I mean, I use stevia.
Yes.
A lot because it tastes fine. First of all, I want you to know that alternatives to sugar, this is going to sound very counterintuitive and it's not going to make sense because I think people equate sweetness with sugar. Though sugar is sweet, sweetness is separate from sugar. There's a specific taste that different types of sugar have, whether it be white table sugar, brown sugar, all that other stuff. The alternatives like Splenda and stevia and et cetera are literally 600 times sweeter than sugar is.
They are.
Yes, because sweetness and sugar are not necessarily the same thing. And I can use 2 stevia in like a 12-ounce coffee and I'm fine. I can taste it. Everything's fabulous. Mm-hmm. I've got to put like 6 teaspoons of sugar in there to get the same level of sweetness. So it's the taste of the sugar that people like. It's not necessarily just the sweetness of it.
Right.
Just to note, 600 times sweeter. Anyway.
Yeah. So honey is definitely a better alternative because there are other vitamins that you can have from that. So there's like vitamin C, D, E, and B. So definitely a lot healthier than sugar. And you can, buy that from a local farmer. So
yes, there's lots of local honey people around here, even like in Lake County for sure. I'm sure it's across the country.
Yes.
And bees are important. We need to bring more bees back. Bees pollinate our flowers and our plants. So to encourage more honey production is to encourage a higher bee population. So yeah, that's cool.
Exactly. And it's better for you. Better than sugar.
So it's a win-win-win-win.
Okay. So if you're a baker like me, an alternative to sugar, definitely anything organic. You can look at the labels and figure out which type of organically grown sugar you're looking for. But date sugar is a good alternative. And we discussed honey. And just be wary of the fake sugar, so aspartame, because obviously a lot of people have food reactions to additives, and that definitely comes along with the fake sugars.
Yeah, so you're gonna find like higher amounts of aspartame in like Equal and Sweet and Low. Those are like kind of the original ones, and they're disgusting anyway. Like try date sugar again. Splenda comes like is it? Splenda? Sorry, stevia is an actual plant. The plant that the substance comes from. Stevia is a brand name, but it actually comes from sugar.
Yes.
But doesn't have the same ickiness as sugar does. So
correct.
Okay. All right, very cool.
All right. Well, on to that.
We got Afia A.
Yeah.
Saying, Sammy, oh my God, with 600 exclamation points. And then she has, what are your thoughts on honeybees and bumblebees?
Oh, okay. So honeybees, because I have my own garden, and bumblebees, they are super, super important to our environment because they pollinate our flowers, they pollinate my garden. Honeybees are really important. I buy locally, like I buy from this person named Bob. He's a beekeeper, and I buy sugar from him. He's given me beeswax that I have to render myself. So I have to boil them to make my lip products and everything, all the products I make that are natural. But
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. It's definitely organic.
So just so everybody knows, Samantha Tercero makes her own natural like soaps and oils and so on.
Yep, beauty products.
Beauty products in general. Okay, yeah. And that's very cool. I'm very excited for her. We're trying to kind of strategize as we go how to get herself to market more so yeah, if you think about it, if you know Sam, buy her stuff.
And all my products are really good for the environment, so no runoffs, nothing gross in there. If you can't eat it, then you shouldn't put it on your body, is what I say.
That's a good standard of measure. Very cool. Do you have any shea butter soap?
Yes.
Nice. I need to. I'll take a bar.
I like more so like the olive oil and the castor oil,
that's
but
fine.
I tried it all.
So that's good. So the oils are fabulous. They're really good. They're natural. The jojoba, the grapeseed, the almond, sweet almond oil, castor oil, which kind of has a nasty reputation because that's what your grandmother used to make you drink when you swore or something. Once you drink it, you're gonna get sick. Right. But it's actually really good for your skin. All these oils are really good for your skin.
Yes, especially castor oil. It's more so related to the sebum that your skin naturally produces. So it is good for you. Yes. But there is a myth that it makes your hair grow, and it really does not. It just has the same what's it called? Like chemical properties that, like I said, our skin naturally produces. So.
Oh, okay. So I shouldn't try it?
No, you can.
It's not gonna. I'd recommend it. Grow my hair. It's not gonna do anything.
Moisturize somehow. Maybe we'll get the little needles and poke and stuff. The chili peppers, everything. We gotta try it all.
Okay.
We'll write it down. We'll see what works best for you.
All right, cool. Thanks. All right. What else you got?
All right. So next for the sugar. So I wanted to go on to the coffee because, like I said, sugar, coffee, you have to. So caffeine, yes, please. So the question is, how is the planet affected by our vicious appetite for coffee? So, Americans consume some 300 million cups of coffee every day. Globally, coffee is second only to oil in terms of dollar traded, and it leaves a whopping social and ecological footprint, particularly in parts of the world with the planet's greatest and most threatened biodiversity.
Wow. Yeah, we drink a lot of coffee, and it's only second to oil in dollars transferred. In actual quantity, we consume more coffee per capita in per year than we do oil, and oil's like in everything. So like it's a pretty that puts it in perspective for sure.
It
and
does.
I love coffee. Don't get me wrong.
Every day.
I wonder if you remind me later to like look up if we can grow coffee beans in this area because like your
grow
own
coffee.
I don't know that you can.
I don't know either. I feel like it'd be more of like a tropical thing.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose if you have like a greenhouse and stuff, you can grow whatever you want because you can control the climate. But I don't have one of those.
Maybe we'll grow some papayas and bananas as well. Yeah. What other tropical fruits? Coconuts.
Coconuts, mangoes.
Yes, all of those. With how close we are to the equator.
Well, because the temperature of the globe is rising, so like we have zones, climate zones.
Right.
Like we're in zone 5.
Illinois, Wisconsin, 5B. That's the zone we're in.
Exactly. So if you ever want to go, hey, I wonder if I can grow something here, always look up whatever crop it is, zone 5B, and it'll tell you. But however, so like the lower zones, the higher the number you go, the warmer it is. It's actually started things that you weren't able to grow here, but you can grow in say like zone 6. You're starting to be able to grow here because the temperature is going up.
Oh gosh.
That's not a good thing, by the way.
No, I know. That's terrible. We didn't even have any snow.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Anyway, sorry.
No, that's okay. We like distraction. Okay. So. Okay. Over the last 4 decades, feeding the world's coffee addiction began to require greater production, and coffee growers started clearing their own lands in order to grow higher yield varieties that thrive in direct sunlight. So we need a lot of sun for these coffee beans.
So you would probably need a controlled environment like a greenhouse.
Yeah, you would.
Grow lights in the garage or something.
While financially productive, the sun-grown coffee takes a heavy toll on the environment and on wildlife. By surrounding the biodiversity with heavy uses of toxic fertilizers, pesticides, and insecticides. So Starbucks is one of the coffee chains that is trying to reverse the trend of how much topsoil we're destroying to grow these coffee beans. So good job, Starbucks, but I'm sure you definitely account for a majority.
I was going to say, they're probably because they're the biggest offender in the first place, you know. I mean, so all right, but okay, that's great. I'd rather have them do that than not do it.
Exactly. So we're kind of
we don't get a lot of choice around as far as coffee shops. I mean, you have a couple local ones, but most of it's Starbucks.
So that goes on.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on.
No, just when you're in a pinch, sometimes like I'll leave and I'll forget my coffee. I'm like, damn it. So like I'll just go to Starbucks and grab an espresso or something.
Yeah.
And I try to stop doing that as much as possible because first of all, it's expensive. And secondly, because like environmental reasons and stuff like that. And it's just, I mean, I can make coffee at home for, 2 pennies, for a cup of coffee. But it's hard to find organic coffee beans. Like the vast majority of coffee is still not organic. You can get it, but you're going to have to pay. That's the problem with this whole situation is that it's the whole supply demand underpinning of economics. If people don't want it, the few that's made is going to cost a lot more. Until more people like it, costs are going to stay high. That's just how it goes.
Exactly.
So please, just try to get as much organic stuff in your grocery. Don't break your bank. I get that.
Yes.
But okay, I can afford this and just kind of get the fruits, the vegetables, whatever else, organic if you can. And then slowly but surely, hopefully it will go up. If the world doesn't end before that, but
definitely organic, and whoever is like in your neighborhood, like I said, if you have somebody who's selling honey, so you can buy locally as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be organic, but if you have a neighbor who's got a blueberry bush and a bunch of blueberries, like definitely buy his blueberries versus the ones that came from Florida that are on a plane using all this gas just to get to you. And I mean, you know what your neighbor's using, I'd buy something from a commercial, farmer in Wisconsin versus somebody in Florida. I mean, it's, cheaper, it's better for the environment. And I know that it's been sourced locally.
And fresh is always better when it comes to food.
True.
So if you want something to sit in a truck for 3 weeks coming from California,
frozen probably on a refrigerator, it's
not going to taste as good as if it's coming from your neighbor's house or even like somebody like across the border in Wisconsin. It's not going to taste as good, period. It's not.
Right. That is true.
So, okay.
So the next point is, the best thing to do is to buy organic. So So when you're looking, like I said, there are 3 tiers of organic. Obviously you want, the best organic you can get, but obviously don't break your bank. We want to, buy from local farmers. So basically I just kind of did, a little bit of research myself. There are a few brands called Ubin and even some Walmart and Sam's Club brands that are organic, and they are working on reducing their carbon footprint from rainforests and killing the environment. So
Coffee companies?
Yeah.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine the amount of like just environmental degradation and just even like labor exploitation that's occurred from coffee over the decades. And like, because it takes a lot to like plant it and harvest it and market it and process it and clean it and blah blah blah. That must have been awful for a lot of people, but all right, hopefully we're making steps forward.
All righty, so next, I think we've had enough with the coffee and the sugar and organic. We said organic is good.
What? Okay. No, I'll ask you at work.
Okay, this one was kind of funny. I thought definitely funny. We talked about this one. Which pet foods are healthiest and most earth friendly? Can I feed my dogs and cats vegetarian?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. I had to pick it. So.
Well, it's just, I know of people that have done that before, and as far as I can remember, it did work.
Me included.
Cats and dogs are not herbivores.
No,
I mean, they might like go ahead. It's all going to be explained what you say. I get it.
It will. Okay. So we set the question. All right. With consumer demand for organic foods growing rapidly, it's no wonder that pet owners are starting to think about what they are feeding Fido and Mittens. And oh boy, what are cats and dogs eating? Warning, gross stuff ahead. Listing the protein source on pet food can contain meat, poultry, byproducts, allowing the manufacturer to include meat processing waste. So that means that there is like poop in our poor pets' food. So buy them organic food or feed them a carrot, please.
Well, okay. As you say that, and we giggle, I want to let everybody know that like if you want to go organic, like the best substance to grow food is compost, which is made from cow and horse manure. So just saying, like, I mean, that's the best. You're not going to get sick. It doesn't process like that into the plant, as manure. It breaks down and it becomes like this amazingly powerful nutritional source for the roots.
Right.
So you're ingesting
aspects, but not in our pets' food.
No. I get it. No, I get you.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. But you shouldn't be feeding pets vegetables. At least not only vegetables.
Right. Okay. Exactly. So this includes 40 animals dead, diseased, dying, or disabled whose meat is often contaminated and contains tumors, drugs, and they were treated in the animal before they died. So meaning that we could have injected a cow with like some sort of antibiotic and then we try to feed it to our pet. So whatever mad cow disease could definitely be transferred.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that. Like all the crap they give to like just the cows, the pigs, the
chickens, everything.
Poor chickens. Yeah. Not only is it like abusive to them as an animal, and I understand that we're gonna have to eat things that were living at one point. That's just how it goes. Sorry, but we can certainly minimize the amount of like damage we do to them while we're raising them for food. You look into like there's some Forks Over Knives. That's more of like a vegan promotion film, but watch it. The things that we're doing with animals, it's awful. Anyway.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
No, it's nasty.
Okay, so according to the Association of American Feed Control Officials, pet food can and does include sprayed, dried animal blood, hydrolyzed hair, dehydrated garbage, unborn carcasses, and many other things. So,
Jesus.
Yeah, there's a lot of gross stuff in pet food. So a few brands stand out for their commitment to doing away with that, making a firm commitment to all natural ingredients. Breeder's Choice offers several natural lines, including Iams, Natural Balance, Honest Kitchen, Yara, Urban Carnivore, and especially this actor Paul Newman and his company. He has organic salad dressing. I saw it at the store the other day because we were talking about it. I still don't know who Paul Newman is, but I do know
he's a very, very famous actor well before your time.
Yes, probably. He's got salad dressing, and he makes
salad dressing.
Organic pet food. So thank you, Paul Newman, for your services.
Yeah, he was a cool dude for sure.
Okay. So even though your values may dictate vegetarian pets, it's quite a challenge. Dogs are omnivores and can survive on a varied diet, but many veterinarians say they do best when at least some animal proteins are on the menu. Cats do not have the luxury of choice. They require certain nutrients from meat that they can't get from plant-based foods. Deficiencies can lead to blindness and even death. Luckily, dog and cat owners whose vegetarian beliefs extend to their pets' diets do have some options. So those were the food brands we went over. The Yara's Organic, Paul Newman's Pet Food. So yeah, I guess the gist of that is don't feed your cat anything vegetarian or vegan.
No, that's silliness, and it's just like kind of naturally, like as natural and pure as these people are trying to be by feeding their pets vegetarian diets. Again, there's no getting around eating something that was once alive. You have to do that. You can't eat rocks and you can't eat dirt. You have to eat plants are alive. Okay. Bushes are alive. Berries, strawberries, where they're all once alive before they got picked. Right. Okay. And there's books out there like plants. I'll have to send the link someone at the time. Several books about like how plants and trees like actually communicate with one another. They're very much like there's still like a small degree of like consciousness and sentience. Like we have like probably the highest degree in the natural world because we can do math and music and all that stuff. But they're like when a predator comes and like attacks a certain bush, it'll send like scents and whatever through the air or even through the root system to warn the bushes downwind. Hey, there's a predator coming, and you'll see like their flowers close just when they get those chemicals on them because they know it means bad news. Right. So they're able to communicate with one another. It's pretty astonishing stuff. So the whole idea that you can like have you yourself have a diet or your dog or cat can have a diet that is literally free of all possible cruelty is false. We're just trying to minimize it. You're not going to get rid of it. All right, sorry, go ahead. That's my little rant. Right. Why would you feed your cat only vegetables? That's weird.
Right. That's like trying to feed
like tigers and lions and shit. Okay.
Feed my Venus flytrap blueberries. Like...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Good Lord. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right. But that was the gist of it. Just because I had gone through that phase where it was vegan and I wanted to feed my dog vegan food, but I'm like, he's in the wild. What would my dog possibly eat? Like, he's not going to be eating off a blueberry bush. He'd be eating.
No, he's not going to be sitting down like chopping on some like celery. Shane Olson says, "Great job." Thanks, Shane.
Thank you. Okay, so my favorite one, recycling. Yay! I feel like there's this huge myth that everybody just doesn't believe in recycling, right? We're like, oh, like the workers have to clean this. Like recycling's really not all that good, right? So here's the question. Some people argue that recycling uses more energy than it saves, and thus it's not worth the effort. Is this true? Okay, Tigger Fox, let's see. Controversy over the benefits of recycling bubbled up in 1996 when columnist John Tierney posted a New York Times article, "Recycling is Garbage." He mainly offered short-term benefits to a few groups: politicians, public relation consultants, environmental organizations, and waste handling corporations, while diverting money from genuine social and environmental problems. Recycling may be the most wasteful activity in modern America. This is what he claimed. So environmentalist groups were quickly to dispute Tierney's claims, especially assertions that recycling was doubling energy consumption and pollution while costing taxpayers more than the disposable plane of old garbage. So I want to pause really quick because I want to get into the next part where it says the director of the EPA, what does that stand for, David?
Environmental Protection Agency.
Yes, exactly. Of solid waste. So a well-run curbside recycling program can cost anywhere from $50 to more than $150 per ton trash collection and disposable programs. So saying that it's costing us $50 to $150 like per ton that we're collecting, right? So for recycling, it's 10 times, it's less, significantly less. So it's anywhere from $70 to $200 per ton. So, well, I kind of ruined that a little, but.
No, I understand. I get the math.
Yes.
You're fine.
Okay, perfect. So.
So wait, okay, go ahead. Is there...
No question. Yes.
So if recycling's bad, what are we supposed to do with all our garbage?
Well, that's the thing. You reduce and reuse it. So like, let's say you get a spaghetti jar, and it's spaghetti jar is basically a mason jar, right?
Yes.
So when you're going to can something at home, like if you're trying to reduce it because it's glass, like you would reuse that multiple times versus tossing it. So when you're recycling, you want to use it for its uttermost potential. So even if you're gardening, like you can reuse your like gallons, grow seeds in them like during the winter, all that good stuff. So you want to make sure that you're recycling before you're recycling, if that makes sense. So you're
reusing before you recycle, right?
Exactly.
So you minimize That's great idea. And it's like, it reminds me of like how my grandparents were when I was growing up, is that they were very prudent about these things and very resourceful. They reused everything. They just didn't waste anything, and it was just fantastic and was much better idea. But like, I'm just wondering like how many people are actually going to like, okay, yeah, I'm going to stop like, just one time, one use, and then throw it away. Like people are still going to do that. But like, for example, this is a plastic bottle water. You know how many times I've refilled this? Probably 60.
Right.
Like I'm the same way. I hate throwing away crap after one use. It drives me batty, because like what you're saying, like, why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make any sense other than the pure like laziness and gluttony and all sorts of disgusting things.
Right. But that's the thing. You're going to make the most use out of it. Like, obviously at some point, like the water bottle will eventually like, start to.
No, I can tell it's weakening in its structure. I mean, it used to be a lot more solid. Sure.
I mean, it's plastic, but I mean, for your health, just make sure you recycle it. Don't throw it in the trash or throw it out the window or anything. Just recycle it.
Yeah. But try to use it many times.
Yes. To the best of your abilities.
Yes. All right. That's a good one.
Back to what I was saying.
I should probably have an entire show on recycling. Sorry, go ahead.
No, what'd you say?
I said I should probably have an entire episode on recycling because now I got like all sorts of questions. I need to research. Remind me on Saturday to like do all these things. Go ahead.
All right, I'll write that down.
Look up recycling.
Okay. Next, that was the gist of that one.
Okay.
We're at 30 minutes. All right, I think we still got a few more to accomplish. All right. Ooh, I found this one really interesting. So this has to do with pollution. Everybody's favorite thing while we drive to work every day, filling up our cars with fossil fuels. All right.
And pollution is a lot less controversial than climate change. Pollution and climate change are not necessarily the same thing. Climate change is the pollution of carbon dioxide in the air. Pollution can mean just, gasoline in water, pollutants in the air, soil degradation, means all sorts of those. So please go ahead. Wait, Alma Tercero, so you're a relative of some sort.
My mother.
It's a new year, and it's time to start a new way of eating, living, and thinking about ourselves and our place in the world. Yes, well said. Who's that?
That's my mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
All right. So I've heard that gas-powered lawnmowers, despite their small engine, actually pollute as much as cars. If this is true, is there a greener way to cut my grass?
Okay, no, I really, because you said that the other day, and I don't think we followed through with the explanation because that strikes me as very mathematically unlikely. But go ahead. I'm
exactly.
Because you use lawnmowers once a week maybe, and you drive like every day. That's why.
True.
But obviously I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Well, let's see. Lawnmowers are indeed big pollutants. A Swedish study conducted that in 2001, air pollutions from cutting grass for an hour with a gasoline-powered lawnmower is about the same as from a 100-mile automobile ride. Meanwhile, 54 million Americans mowing their lawn each weekend with a gas-powered mower may be contributing as much as 5% of the national's air pollution, says the EPA.
Okay, I mean the EPA is a very credible source for information, so it's hard for me to like sit and go, no, they're wrong. But no, I mean, you're right. I mean, you don't, you might drive to the store and back. It's like 10 minutes each way, but you're sitting there putting with your lawnmower for an hour straight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I guess nowadays, maybe they're probably talking about a certain period of time, which is nowadays, because cars nowadays have a lot more environmental stuff and gadgets in there than the gas tanks and so on.
Mm-hmm.
That to make sure that there's a far less pollution. Like back in the day in the 1950s, I don't think that statistic would be the same. Because like lead was coming out of the gasoline in the cars and there was like no protections. And we really messed up a lot of stuff there.
Right, we didn't have Teslas back then.
We did not have Teslas back then. Or even like 4-cylinder engines, I think.
Yes.
But like, okay, that's really interesting. That's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do about it. But that's very cool.
What can we do?
They have, I mean, there's electric, they now have like battery powered lawnmowers. You have electric lawnmowers. You had those since I was a kid too. You just plug them in and you use, instead of gasoline, you use electricity. Okay. Those are possibilities. There are certain, I know, companies out there that literally will rent you goats, little baby goats or little goats to like eat your grass, because they'll sit there and they'll eat your grass.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing!
Like, it's fabulous, and it's and then they'll crap on your lawn, which is good for the soil. Again, manure.
These can definitely poop in my garden.
Yeah, right. So yeah, no, I mean, that's a little probably very infrequent. You're going to find.
I don't think my neighbors would like that very much, but
I don't know. But anyway, all right, go ahead.
That's great. Or we can get an old-fashioned lawnmower where we just got to push
just a little brrr, like you saw like the Three
Edward Scissorhands and cut.
Edward Scissorhands, yeah. Oh, we can start a little thing where we can like dress up like Edward Scissorhands.
Just hire everybody to cut a section of my grass.
Yeah,
I mean, it's group activity. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. So back to this. The problem with small engines emit disproportionately large amounts of carbon monoxide, voltage, organic compounds, and nitrogen oxides that contribute to smog. So this is just the smog aspect. The human health effects of smog-laden air are well known to inflammation and damage to lungs, increased risk of asthma attacks, and lowered levels of oxygen in the bloodstream, which can aggravate heart conditions and people that have like respiratory issues. So the asthma, tuberculosis, people that have those issues, the lawn mowing smog can definitely kind of hurt them more so than everybody else.
Right.
So the good news is the EPA has phased in new emission standards for gas-powered mowers, resulting in a 32% smog reduction. So the lawnmowers made in 2007 or later contain higher standards. So if you have an old lawnmower and definitely like an old refrigerator, they're using a lot of electricity. And same thing, old stoves, old heaters, old air conditioners, they're using a lot of electricity. So definitely swap out for new things that are more environmentally friendly. Okay, but gas is not the only option. We can also go electric. So the easy part is the price. We can charge it. Tesla, there we go.
Yep.
The trade-off for plug-in mowers is that they only work for small lawns. So during a power outage, we might have to mow the lawn a different day.
Which is fine. And we also, I mean, mowing the lawn is not really a great idea in the first place, by the way. It's not good for your soil.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then how do you recommend cutting your grass?
I recommend not cutting grass, but nobody's going to pick up on that. So, you should just.
I don't think the village would be very happy.
The village, you're going to get you're going to get fined, sued, kicked out of your community, whatever. But like it's just cutting the lawn is like really. First of all, the type of grass we grow is like from other areas of the world, so that's not exactly healthy. It's intrusive.
Sure.
It's changing the character and nature of the topsoil. Well, the soil that's left underneath it, which is probably might have effects later. I don't know, but and just the upkeep, besides the gasoline and just the oil and the electrical use of like the things you need to keep your lawn looking nice is just outrageous how much energy that uses. But like it's just like nature is meant to grow. It's not meant to be like chopped down. But like, it's just generally not like, we have this false idea about like weeds and what counts as a weed, for example, in lawns. Like dandelions are, first of all, beautiful flowers. They're healthy. They're very nutritious. They're not weeds.
And make tea from them. They're so good.
Tea, you can make, there's all sorts of fun things you can do with them. And they're just, I think they're very pretty. The nice little yellow things glowing, and then they turn into these little wispy things that go,
people
and you go make all that fun kid stuff. But we identify them as weeds because we were told that they are weeds. The definition of a weed is merely an unwanted plant. That's all it means. There's nothing in nature that doesn't have some sort of advantage or value in nature. It doesn't exist. If you exist, you have value. That has to be the way it is. So we're out there, we're spraying Roundup and all sorts of like pesticides and herbicides and stuff on our lawns to get rid of these dangerous little weeds, and there actually no need to do that in the first place. The whole idea of like raking leaves in the fall, terrible idea. Leave your leaves on the grass.
Very nourishing.
I'm telling you had to do it because over the winter the snow's going to go on the leaves and kill the grass, and it won't grow back next year. Nonsense. 100% false.
Do people believe that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I mean, I remember that was the way there was when I was growing up. That's why you rake the leaves.
Oh,
it's because it was bad for the grass. It's not. It's actually the leaves break down. Leaf mulch is one of the most powerfully nutritious things that soil can ever get. At the end of your gardening season, put leaf mulch on your soil.
Yeah.
And then leave it. Oh, baby. Definitely. It is good stuff. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Put it in your compost bin. It's very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. All right. Let's see. Next. Oh, this one's fun. Is it more environmentally friendly to hand wash dishes or use the dishwasher?
Well, unfortunately, it's probably washing dishes by hand. I hope not, though, because I hate washing dishes.
What about paper plates?
That can't be environmentally friendly.
No, definitely. Maybe if we were eating off like a bamboo plate or something, but then you would have to wash it. So then at that point, I guess.
I mean, that really doesn't hold germs. Like you just like rinse it off and you're done.
Well, as long as there's no raw meat on it to
okay, whatever.
Fester that bacteria. Okay, let's not think about that right now.
All right, what does it say?
Dishwashers are the way to go if you comply with 2 simple criteria. Run a dishwasher only when it's full, and don't rinse your dishes before putting them in the dishwasher. So
that sounds like me right there. So that's good.
And don't use the dry cycle. The water used in most dishwashers is hot enough to evaporate quickly if the door is left open. And
that's a good idea.
And the wash and rinse cycles are complete. Scientists who studied the issue found that the dishwasher uses only half the energy, 1/6 of water, and less soap than hand washing an identical set of dishes. So if we use the dishwasher, we'll be using less soap. So
that's good to know. Like, okay, I feel better about my life.
I mean, and that's true because I think about it. I could probably use like half a bottle of soap like on some dishes that have a lot of stuff on them. Like, I mean, it does make sense. I mean, one little dish tablet in the dishwasher versus me with a whole squirt bottle of dish soap. I'm like, oh, we need this extra clean. And I'm like, if there's not enough bubbles, then more soap, right?
Don't they like add something to soap to make it lather? Or maybe that's shampoo. Like I think like the natural ingredients don't make it like that adds anyway, whatever.
No, they do.
Yeah, it's good. And also about soap and water real quick. This is a little on the side here. But like Woody Harrelson, the actor, made a commentary once which I thought made a lot of sense about the kind of stuff we buy for cleaning in the house when like 99% of what you need to clean can be done with soap and water. Mm-hmm. Like we're buying all these chemicals and bleach and ammonia and blah 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 and all these little spray bottles with all this stuff in it and everything. Like the kitchen counters need one thing and the floors need another thing and the tables need the third thing. When really soap and water will clean all of that. Like literally, that's all you need.
Right. Or even natural products like vinegar or things that like salt or borax in your laundry. Because I mean, think about all the chemical runoff too. Like I'm cleaning my floors and my laundry with bleach, and where is that going? To the sewage where it's being boiled and reused. And essentially, I mean, it's going to end up back in our system, just like microplastics and everything too. It just ends up going a full circle back into us. So, I mean, that's, I guess, the whole gist of being organic and environmentally friendly, right?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sustainability. Real quick, you said vinegar. I just want to mention something. It has to do with the weed thing. Like, so if you do have things in your grass, your lawn, or your garden that you don't want there, Well, you got to make sure that if it's in your garden next to like a food plant or a plant you're growing an ornamental, you're probably just going to have to pick it out. Otherwise, you're going to affect the roots of the things that you want to stay. But in your lawn, don't use Roundup. Please, for the love of baby Jesus, do not use Roundup. It has glyphosate, which is a carcinogen. Monsanto, who invented Roundup, is getting sued. It's got over 100,000 lawsuits against it. It's already lost some. Lymphomic cancer is occurring in people who use too much of it. It's nasty stuff. It's probably going to be banned eventually. America's always the last place to ban anything because we just this free market nonsense. But it's already banned. I think in like several areas in Europe, and I think Russia did too. But don't quote me on that. Use vinegar. So which was my original point. Just pour some vinegar. Like if you see like some like I'm trying to think of the pot. Let's say a dandelion. I hate to pick on a dandelion, but I can't think of anything else. I know. So don't kill dandelions, but if you have to pour vinegar on it, that'll kill it. It'll go away. Done. All right. Go ahead, sir.
Just a side note, if you're going to use vinegar in your house and you don't like the smell of it, you can always use some essential oil, and essential oils are plant derived, so they are definitely healthy. No extra whale junk in there or poor possums being used. No animal cruelty in essential oils. That's
right.
Definitely an advocate for those.
Yeah, good stuff.
All righty. Next. So these are the phantom loads and energy suckers. All righty. So, question. I've heard that cotton is more environmentally friendly than synthetic fabrics, but what is the ecological impact of cotton? So, do you believe in cotton clothes?
Do I believe in them? You asked, is it like, do I believe in Santa Claus? Is that the same?
I mean, do
I support them? I don't know. I don't know what you're about to say. I have not heard this yet. I can't imagine that cotton is environmentally friendly.
That's exactly what I was getting at. Okay.
No, but I really have never thought about cotton, to be honest with you.
I do. I'm crazy. But
okay, good.
So, cotton is as natural as it can be, and it's certainly more biodegradable and less flammable than polyester fibers. But unfortunately, cotton is grown in practices that leak soil, that literally leak soil in its toxins. So it's not grown in the safest ways. The Organic Trade Association says that the cotton industry uses approximately 25% of the world's insecticides and more than 10% of its pesticides, producing the cotton fabric required for a regular t-shirt. Released a 1/4 pound of chemical fertilizers and pesticides into the air, water, and soil. So that kind of bursted my bubble because I'm always about cotton clothes, but I mean, organic cotton versus just any other cotton, just like the coffee, we want organic.
So organic cotton would be, because there's got to be something about scale of area that you're using to grow said crop. And also monoculture is not good for soil either, which is growing one crop in a massive area and nothing else. Mm-hmm. Nature loves diversity. There's this field, I'm certified this too, called permaculture, PERMA culture, which is short for permanent culture. Look it up. This is even better than organic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so look that up. But so I'm wondering if scale has something to do with it too. But you're saying that organic cotton is actually going to be much better on these other issues.
Yes, this monoculture.
Okay. So is my t-shirt cotton?
Probably not. It's probably a mixture of fibers and synthetic material and cotton. So and spandex. Spandex isn't a lot of things.
I'm wearing spandex. Okay.
Okay. So this is the crazy part about it. So according to the OTA, and the EPA considers 7 of the top 15 pesticides used in cotton in 2000 possibly linked to the known of human carcinogens. So increased with consumer awareness for demand of organically grown cotton continues to rise. So we said organic.
Okay. Good to know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Most consumers are concerned about what they put in their bodies, but the same awakening hasn't happened for what they put on their bodies. if you have industrial press sheets, you could be sleeping on chemicals. So like I said, I guess just try and buy organic. I mean, kind of hard when it says 100% cotton because we don't know if the cotton is organic, but I mean, you'll just do your best.
So I'll say this about organic. Are you, because when I was getting certified in organic farming, obviously we had to go over what counted as organic. If it says USDA certified organic or OMNI, or maybe it's just go start with USDA. USDA certified organic, it's organic. Like it's super organic. They're really, really strict, maybe even too strict about what counts as organic. For example, if you have a commercial farm that uses synthetic stuff and you want to go organic, and organic really just means no synthetic materials. That's generally what it means. It has to be all natural. Not coming from chemical labs and stuff. So to go from commercial farming to organic farm, you have to leave your soil fallow, which means untouched, 100% untouched for 3 years. You have to, for 3 years, which means why it's so difficult to get farmers to switch over because they're going to lose money because they're not going to grow the product for 3 years. Now, some have gotten clever. And they let's say they have just a square acre, say, just the math simple. They'll section it off, and they'll grow the crops here and here, but not up here and here for 3 years, and then so they're getting something in, or they might expand their business to other areas in order to accomplish it. But that's not very easy to do. When you have 150 acres of stuff, that you're used to growing one crop on, and all of a sudden I have to change all that. That's a very long process, and it's very difficult to do. Also, if you live to another farm that's not going organic, you have to guard against the wind taking the non-organic stuff from their farm to your farm. That's a part of the regulation as well, which is also very difficult and costly. So I don't know where the standards are now, but all I'm saying is that if it says USDA organic, you're safe. It's organic. If it says natural, legally in marketing means nothing. Means absolutely nothing at all. Don't buy it. I mean, don't think I'm doing better for the environment because this says natural. It doesn't mean crap. Organic does. All right, go ahead.
Well, I mean, you think about it too, when you're gardening, there are this year when I was gardening, I had a lot of roly-polies in my garden, and because they're decomposers, right? So they were eating all of my potatoes, and the same thing, they would get into my tomatoes and my cucumbers. So it must be really difficult for people to even farm organically because of all the natural pests that we have to pry off those little worms that tomatoes. So I don't know. That's just a whole different playing field.
No, but it is. Can I say something about that real
quick? Yes, please
do. Thank you.
Keep talking.
Yeah. The thing about this is that there are organic alternatives to synthetic pesticides, herbicides, and whatever else. Weed killers, and that's an herbicide. Neem oil is extremely popular. It's from the neem tree in India. It does a lot of things. It'll kill pathogens. It'll cause pests to go away. I don't think it'll kill weeds. I'm not sure. I don't think it'll kill weeds, but it's very healthy. Literally to the point where you can douse your tomato plant in neem oil and wake up the next morning and eat the tomato. And
I was going to say, is it safe for us?
Yes, you're not going to get sick. It's super, super gentle, and it has a certain effect that is sufficient, I think, in a lot of ways. But a lot of that is you can do protections, you can cause, the white netting you see over things. You can do that. That keeps a lot of bugs out. There are other precautions you can take. There's coyote urine, basically, or wolf urine that you spread around the garden to keep predators away, the rabbits and everything. They smell it, oh no, and they go away. So if we're little critters coming in and eating your food, that's another way to do it without killing them, by the way. There's also there are alternatives. Now the thing is with the synthetic stuff, it is more potent. There's no doubt, but that's part of the problem. And the way it affects the soil too is it kills the microbes in the soil, which is nature's literally its growing system. The microbes are what causes the breakdown of all the nutrients that goes into the roots and causes the plants to grow. Without those, you need to use synthetic stuff, which is wholly unsustainable too, because you got to keep making new synthetic chemicals to apply to it, because whatever ones you use in the first place, the things that it's trying to protect against will get used to that and overcome it. So now you have to make a more intense one, and then until that happens again, you just got to keep repeating and adding your own synthetic stuff, and it's just a nightmare. So it's better to do organic stuff, and there are things like neem oil. There's a ton of stuff. methods and stuff like that. Just look up organic methods of pesticides and herbicides. You'll find it.
Definitely.
Sorry.
No, don't be. All right. For people that have kids, the question: which are better for the environment, disposable diapers or cloth diapers?
I'm going to go with cloth.
Cloth? All right, we'll see. The disposable versus cloth debate has raged for years. Non-degradable disposable diapers can sit for decades, even centuries in landfills, and they require thousands of tons of plastic and hundreds of thousands of trees to manufacture. But the water and the chemicals used to clean cloth diapers and the fossil fuels diaper services consumed to transport them suggest that their relatively environmental impact could be a wash. Still, the environmental balance may be shifting back to cloth diapers, which have been slowly losing what little market share they've had. Modern advances in water and energy efficiency in washing machines and dryers have been reduced to the environmental impact of diapering laundering. So basically, you can use cloth diapers, but maybe we should air dry them to save.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody use cloth? I mean, I remember. Well, I don't remember. I was like a baby, but I think I used cloth diapers as a little child. But then I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
But I'm old. I'm older than you.
Much as they'd probably want to avoid it, concerned parents to think about sewage, the urine, feces, and the disposable diapers entering landfills untreated and possibly contaminating the groundwater supplies. So I just want to pause because you said that, like, you could put spread wolf urine in your garden, right? Like technically you could pee in your own garden, right?
And around your garden. Don't pee in your garden.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So I guess there's this environmental concern about it getting into the water.
Urine?
Well, feces in this case.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, yeah.
Well, but what about your bathroom plumbing? I mean, that's
true.
It gets processed. It gets filtered out, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't think we're
right. It does. Yeah. It does.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess it's just that silly concern that they have.
Well, okay. No, I mean, feces and water supply is probably, generally speaking, not a great idea. But I think we have pretty sufficient filtering processes right now. In a natural water, that's why they say if you're out in nature, so you always try to go to a higher level to drink the water than the lower level, because that's where all the fish and everything else, they poo and pee up there, and the animals do, and then it all runs down. So if you get up higher, you're gonna have a less chance of getting anything sick, any sickness from that. So yeah.
So if you're in the wild, drink the water off the leaves, not in the river.
Right. Unless you were super thirsty.
Yes, unless you're super thirsty. All right. So if you're concerned about the environment and want the convenience of disposables, there's certain brands using flushable cloth diaper liners. They have that as well. Just be careful flushing things in the sewage because contamination. But yeah, that was all I had. Do you want to discuss anything, or should I read a random one? What do you think?
No, I mean, I would love to discuss all these things in length, but obviously we don't have the time for that.
Right.
There's a thousand other things that could be said about these, but yeah, pick a random one. We got about 5 minutes left, so yeah, pick a random one and we'll.
Okay. Let's see. All right. What are the implications of the increased breakup of Antarctica's largest floating ice shelves in recent years?
This is going to be, pay attention, folks, because this is actually happening right now. It's happening at a greater rate.
Can you tell us?
Probably since that book was written. And this is a very serious concern because of these things happening in Antarctica and the Arctic and elsewhere, we're going to lose coastlines massively, and probably literally within the next 10 years. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I had a few friends say that there is a increase in jellyfish around beaches and stuff. Do you think that has to do with?
I have no idea.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
I know that there's stuff like maybe the nature's like I wonder if like nature's like on the prowl now, like to like kind of like tell us to knock it off in certain ways. Like there's like multiple and more claims of like orca whales attacking fishing boats and like sinking them. Like they never did that. Like why would an orca whale care about a fishing boat? And like that kind of like it's happening more and more often. And then like you get stung by a jellyfish, it's gonna hurt. Right.
Yeah.
So they're like really, really bad. It's supposed to be extremely painful.
Right.
So that there's more of them. No, I don't know. I mean, I'm being just kind of like, a cult weirdo here, but like, I wonder if nature's like, all right, that's it. We're done. Here you go. We're going to sink your vessels. We're going to make you not want to go in the water by stealing your feet. It's just like whatever way it wants to do it.
Definitely.
But I don't know if it does have to do with the glacier thing. I don't know. I'm not aware of that.
Interesting. Okay. Anyways. Ice shelves are thick plates of ice that float on the ocean around for much of the Antarctic. Snow glaciers and ice flows feed these large plates in colder months. In warmer periods, surfacing melting creates standing water that leaks into cracks and speeds the break-off calving of icebergs, decreasing the continent's mass in a natural cycle as old as Antarctica itself. So,
yeah, no, it's a big deal, and people are more, especially now that we have the El Nino effect going on. It warms the water even more so than routinely, and which makes the stuff melt more quickly. It affects the water under like deeper down, which makes that warmer, which actually melts underneath the iceberg, which is bad too. Because there's like it's called the 10% iceberg effect, which means that whatever iceberg you see, that's only 10% of the whole thing. 90% of it is below the water. It's just how ice is buoyant, how it floats. I guess it's a regular constant 10%. So there's a lot more going on. Now, they say that's just the tip of the iceberg. That actually refers back to that there's a lot more going on that you're not aware of. So for the underneath to be like warming up as well, it makes it even a more rapid effect. And also, so there's oh my god, I can go on forever about icebergs. Go ahead. Sorry, no.
Okay. So let's see. Sorry, I got a little distracted here.
Right.
Most research suspects that recent increasing in calving are linked to warming surface air temperatures as a result of human-induced climate change.
Yep.
So.
Yes, and then again, there's all this other stuff that they're discovering as well, like how it affects it underneath, and like there's like currents and cycles that are occurring that are rapidly melting like certain areas of the glacier, and it's like like there's this effect where like the global warming is part of it, where the sun rays come into the earth, certain things reflect it back off into space. Icebergs being white and icy are like the things that do that the most perfectly. So when we start reducing the area of ice that reflects the sun back off into space, the globe is going to get even warmer even more quickly. It's more like a trap. It's called a recursive loop, a self-enforcing feedback loop. Like we're screwed. It's over. Sorry.
Yeah. It is. Even a relatively small rise in sea level would make some densely settled coastal areas uninhabitable.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Mm-hmm.
This is global effects. So like you hear like, oh, it's going to raise the sea level by 3 inches. Like, oh, 3 inches, that's not bad. I can do that in my bathtub and I'm fine. No. Like globally, this is going to like destroy like all sorts of like half of Florida is supposed to go away. LA is going to fall in the ocean because of like the flooding and all the
islands that are just submerged now. Because
it's already happening. If you Google NASA Hawaii's beach line, coastal line, this should come up, and it's a NASA satellite set of photos from like say 25 years before the photo was taken, and I don't remember when the photo was taken. Somewhere I would think in the last 10 years. And like so, let's say the coastline was this much until you got to like the houses and stuff like that, and now it's like this much. Like they can measure that it's going away.
Right.
They can see it. Okay, it is happening, folks. This is not a hoax. This is not some sort of political weird agenda. I'm not doing this, because I'm bored. This is actually happening, and it's terrifying. And they just had that one, the general meeting that they have of all the nations getting together, the COP or something like that. to talk about it. What was, what advances the nations have made in trying to fight climate change. And literally the general consensus was like almost zero. Like it's a negligible effect of what they're trying to do to make things better. Mm-hmm. And we're getting to the point where like after that critical point, once you get past it, there's nothing you can do. It's over.
Right.
So yeah.
That's why we're recycling, guys. Yeah. Doing our best to undo what we've done.
Here. All right, hey, we made it in an hour. Isn't that crazy?
We did. Do you usually make it to the hour?
No, almost always. Sometimes I got to cut it off after the hour. Yeah. So very cool. Thank you. Very cool. Well, thanks, Sam, for coming on the show. That was fabulous.
You're welcome.
And it's good to know all this about you, that you're still like into the environment and stuff. Like I know you had your product line and stuff, but I didn't know it expanded, much beyond that. I'm glad that it does. That's fabulous. We can be BFFs now. Okay. So now I need you. What you should do is you should join the Green Party, because it's the only political party that gives a damn about the environment and actually has plans to fix everything. So you might want to consider that, folks, looking into the Illinois Green Party. And on that note, Sam Tercero, thank you so much for coming on. You're wonderful, beautiful. Alma, if you're still listening, you did a great job. Your daughter's a wonderful person. I love hanging out with her. And we're going to have you back on because there's a lot more to that book. I think this might be a fun thing to maybe have you on a few times every couple of months or something.
Definitely. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the Illinois Green Party series. I'm your host, David Rych. Till next time, be good, be green. Hold on, Tim.